The Knicks lost a nail biter to the Chicago Bulls, 124 to 123. I felt this game was really a summary of their season. I did see the last several minutes of this game, but this is a game that the Knicks should have won. They should have won this game. The Bulls are a mediocre team. They're playing below 500 basketball right now. Granted, the Knicks are also doing that also. But the Knicks should have gotten this game. Just the final minute was really a microcosm of their season. They were up by, I believe, 2 points, and it was after Jalen Brunson, I believe, put them up by two with I think it was a layup. I think he got a layup where he put them up by 2 points, and it looked like the Knicks were going to close this game out. They were going to get a gutsy win just by pulling it through. But what happened was Josh Hart stupidly fouled Kobe White behind the three-point line, which resulted in the Bulls getting 3 free throws. Kobe White hit all 3 of those free throws, put the Bulls up by 1. The Knicks called a timeout. They had a few seconds left. Jalen Brunson almost hit a jump shot in the paint, but the ball just rolled off the rim. It looked like it was going to go in, and it just didn't. It was a fadeaway shot that just barely missed. And that to me was really the Knicks season. They're a team that should win, but they still find ways to lose games that they should win. Just it's a really odd team. I feel like the Knicks are a bipolar team this season. One of the stats that stick out to me about the Knicks right now is that in games that they win by an average margin of 19.6 points. Their margin of victory is an average of 19.6 points. So that's very dominant. That's a sign of a championship contender when you win by that type of margin of victory. But when the Knicks lose so far this season, they're losing by a margin of 9.6 points per game, close to 10 points. That's their average margin of defeat. So that to me really shows right there the Knicks are a very bipolar team. Some games they look like contenders, and then the other games they just look like a mediocre team. And that to me is, I would say, combination of them getting used to playing with each other. This is a fairly new team. They've added some new guys since last year in Cat and Mikal Bridges. But still, the consistency is lacking this year. I'm just looking at their stats so far for the season. This year, they're ranked number 7th in defense. I want to see where they were ranked last year. Last year, they were ranked 2nd in defense. So their defense has gone down. Excuse me. Their defense has gone down by several notches from last season. So last season, they were number 2. This season, they're number 7th in defense. Their offense has picked up a little bit. Last year, they were ranked 19th in offense. This year, they're ranked 14th. So the offense has picked up, but the defense has dropped. The Knicks defense needs to improve. I feel that even their defensive ranking of number 7th, which is points per game they give up, can be deceptive because their defensive rating this year is 19th according to Basketball Reference. So the Knicks definitely could improve on the defensive end. I've seen it in games this year where at times they look like last year's Knicks on defense. At other times they're just a step behind. So that's something really big that they have to work on. But consistency to me is the biggest thing that I don't know how they become more consistent. But some games I feel like they really bring it. There's this fire. There's this motivation. Like the other night I saw the game in Philadelphia in which it was close for a few quarters. And then in the fourth quarter, the Knicks just took that game over like a championship contender team does in a hostile atmosphere and won that game in the fourth by double digits. And then to now choke a game against the Knicks the next night just shows, again, this team is very bipolar. I do think they'll eventually get it together. I still have them winning 50 games. But if you're a Knicks fan, this has to be very frustrating and nerve-wracking that they can't put a stretch of consistency together where they can get a small win streak or 4 or 5 games where they just look like a dominant team every night, which they should, to be honest. But right now, it's like they'll bring it one game, the next game they don't really bring it So it's just really a consistency thing. Tibbs obviously will have to whip them in line, and it's up to Jalen Brunson too, because he's the leader of his team. He has to fire them up to be motivated against the bad teams. I believe this is an example of that, just not getting up for the Chicago Bulls after getting an emotional victory against Philadelphia the other night. Granted, Philadelphia is bad, but in that game, Joel Embiid was back and they had Paul George. So it was kind of like a statement game for the Knicks, I felt, winning in Philadelphia the other night. But they just have to figure it out, and I'm sure they're going to drive the Knicks fans crazy throughout the season when they have these moments, which I think they're going to have more moments of. So that's all I have to say.